This is Chiroko Water Point, currently providing water for domestic use to over 500 households during the dry season. Constructed by Reseda with funding from Court Aid, an international development and aid organization. This intervention, underground water storage tanks, locally known as bear cuds, would not have come at any better time than now. Reseda has constructed more than 12 big bear cuds in the last few years in different villages in Mandera district, with support from Norwegian Church Aid, Court Aid Diakonie Germany, and Finchurch Aid, which have brought a lot of relief to many, especially mothers.
There are mothers who used to walk 40-50 kilometers looking for water for days and carrying 20 liters jerrycan on their back and moving in the bush, and they were being, exposed to wildlife and rapes and all this. But having water close to those mothers actually means something very tangible in their life. It's actually a whole turnabout in their life.
The award-winning technology is an adaptation from their neighboring war-torn country Somalia, where it has been used from time immemorial to store water to be used only at the height of drought. Surface runoff water is harvested during the unpredictable rainy seasons and stored under lock and key until the onset of the dry season. Only then are the communities allowed to access the water. But since the water is not enough to serve the ever-increasing population daily, the locals here have adopted a water rationing approach. Each household is allowed to draw 2 20-litre jerrycans after every 2 days to ensure the water lasts them through the dry season. Once able to secure more funding, Reseda's vision is to replicate this technology to every location, thus enabling the communities to have daily access to water and further cushion the community for future droughts. This is by ensuring that the water is available at the entire period of drought. For the time being, the bottom line is that they have some clean water close to their homesteads. Time they used to spend in a day-long search for water is ploughed back to otherwise neglected household chores. More to it, they've got time to enhance their culture. Water pans play an important role in addressing water problems within these arid lands of Mandera, but the harsh climatic conditions have loosened the clay-like soils, further resulting to high seepage and silting rates. For a long time, the community had to contend with the shortcoming until Reseda provided a solution in form of a pilot project, lining one of the pans with high-density polythene to address the seepage menace. True to their expectations, the lining literally has worked miracles, and over 300 households can now have water for 8 months on a water rationing basis compared to 2 months previously.
Imeleta manufaa sana sababu imewasaidia. Watoto wamepata nafasi ya kwenda shule. Wakina mama wamepata nafasi ya kufanya kazi nyingine kuliko kwenda kushota maji kutoka kilomita 15. So tulikuwa tunategemea kwenda kushota maji kilomita 15. Lakini sasa imekuwa maji ndani ya town.
In support of talents for the community's better future, Reseda builds tanks for schools to ensure that the leaders in making enjoy uninterrupted school sessions. With this tank, Ola Primary School has survived the last 2 successive droughts. Reseda is constantly inspired by her mission statement to enhance self-reliance and prosperity amongst vulnerable pastoralist communities living in northern Kenya through promotion of better livelihood systems, sustainable use of natural resources, and community empowerment. Rasida has been turning around the drought tide by providing alternatives for livelihood to the community members that aim at building hopes beyond drought. Meet Mama Halima, one of the new breed of emerging farmers undertaking crop production through irrigation and also practicing dairy goat farming, an initiative by the community and Rasida. For a long time, Halima has relied on her livestock for livelihood, but the 2006 drought left her hopeless and vulnerable. Halima and others are beneficiaries of dryland crop and animal production techniques trainings organized by Rasida with funding from Rasida's partners. Rasida also provided them with startup kits. A diesel pump shared amongst every 8 households with farms along the crocodile-infested River Daua and 4 milk-producing dairy goats per household.
Asante sana. Sisi nabata engine, sisi nabata mbuzi, sisi nalima shamba. Sisi shamba iko karibu, sisi masua yake napeleka iko naweka bangi. Sisi iko mzuri sana. Sasa naendelea mzuri sana.
Halima, like other farmers in the district, farms on the banks of River Daua that runs between the border of Ethiopia and Kenya while herding her goats. Her maize crop is doing well. Things look so much more promising that she has ventured into fruit production. Mzee Mohammed's crop is also doing well, and he expects a bumper harvest so long as River Daua continues to flow. Things are looking brighter also for Abdia, who also lost all her stock in the 2006 drought, but now she has big dreams for her future. As a way of promoting the drought mitigation interventions and ensuring self-reliance, constant community-based disaster risk reduction trainings is an ongoing process for Rasida on all project areas. The idea is to ensure adaptation and sustainability even if Rasida was to exit.
We have to actually make the community to understand and also to live with the hazard that they actually have every year. A good example is the drought. Our communities here have been experiencing drought for many years. And what we want that the people to understand is that they can live with the drought. We want the people actually to understand what is the drought and how it impacts on them. And how do we actually put some measures in place before the drought strikes so that life becomes normal.
Apparently, few locals have already replicated the technology within their homesteads, a clear indication that Rasida has shown them the way, and now they're on the highway to self-reliance. To further her idea of innovatively empowering pastoralist communities, Rasida continues to develop new partnerships and networks. Key amongst the challenges Rasida seeks foremost to address is securing funding to continue her innovativeness to these marginalized community.
The biggest challenge actually we have here is one, we don't have enough resources to actually cater for all the needs we see it on the ground. And some of the mechanisms or some of the things we are trying to do actually to overcome some of our challenges is trying to build the capacity of these communities so that some of our interventions can be replicated by the community themselves in future. We don't want to be this scenario whereby we institutionalize relief. We actually want our people to be released from relief.
Set to launch her strategic plan for 2008 to 2012 soon, her future is bound to take this community afar in terms of sustainable development. A journey she intends to take with her current and would-be partners, whom she owes gratitude for their support so far.
I really must thank our partner donors, and I must thank the Dutch organization Code8. Code8 has really been very helpful during the time of distress here in Mandera, and they have really assisted the communities. I also must thank our partners like Norwegian Church Aid and Diakoni. I must say they have done some useful and generous contribution towards assisting the Mandera people actually in terms of assisting them during the emergency and also trying to see how they can recover. But there's a lot to be done, and a lot to be done. I must say that thank you for what you have done, and I am appealing that together we can make difference here in Mandera.
So far, Rasida's interventions have given a new lease of life to the people of Mandera, but the need to do much more still remains. Rasida's commitment is to stay on course as she continues to innovatively empower pastoralist communities in northern Kenya. All will only be well when Rasida will have empowered all, including this little one, with sustainable solutions to their drought-tinted life struggles. Their lives will then be their dreams beyond drought, and a new dawn will have been born to them.